Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the big game hunter, and I've been a professional recruiter for what seems like 100 years. And today I want to talk with you about what I call a stupid hiring mistake that most firms make all the time and justify it in a million different ways. And that's the notion of hiring for fit. Now, most of you have very good rationalizations for what you're doing. And that's what they are, rationalizations. Because the fact of the matter is, you have no clue about how to hire for fit. And I can demonstrate that by saying there's a statistic I've seen for a number of years that said almost 80% of you, a year after you do a hire, have regrets about it. Now, I assume that you measured whether or not this person had the knowledge or skills to do the job. But there was something about them where their behavior, where their fit didn't fit. So let's look at how you're assessing for fit. And often it's an excuse for looking at oral communications, which translates into bias against people who are not US born or in the country that you're watching this video from. So you have a notion that this person's accent is too hard to understand and people won't like it. And here's the saddest part, it will look bad upon you. Now, if they have legitimate comprehension skills, I've got no issue with that. But most of you have a bias about accents. You have a bias about age. How could this 55-year-old man, woman fit in with us who are in our 20s and 30s? They won't be able to relate to us. When in fact, you would wind up being challenged by them because they have knowledge and experiences that you don't possess, or you're afraid that they're going to act like know-it-alls. Those are just two simple examples. We can go to race examples where the all-white organization or the all-black organization will have hiring someone who is different than them. It goes on and on and on. They won't fit in. They won't like the music we play. They won't like our jokes. These were all excuses that were used for all male organizations to not hire women for so long. That's worked out pretty well. I'll also say that those differences may be the very thing your organization needs so that it doesn't have homogeneous thought, that everyone isn't thinking alike. Because I think if you're honest and you're a hiring manager or an HR professional, you look at organizations that are pretty homogeneous and everyone gets along perfectly and there are no disagreements about ideas. And you have to question who's giving this manager any sort of input that's challenging to them. And you need to have challenges. It's kind of like in politics, a person is elected to the presidency and they surround themselves with people who just agree with them. No one challenges them. They miss things. You need to bring in different people into your organization. Again, if there's a comprehension issue and your concern is about oral communication and they don't understand, well, again, that's one thing. Too many mistakes will occur because they don't understand what you're saying. Or you have an accent that's too thick for them to understand. I want to remind you about that one. So again, look at whether this is a bias that you have. Investigate by bringing someone else into the process who's a peer. Tell them this is what your concern is. If they voice the same bias, I'm telling you what that is a bias. You can't sugarcoat it. And whether it's ageism, racism, whatever the bias is, you need diversity of thought. You need people who see things differently than you. And if they don't have the skill that you need, again, that's a fair reason for turning someone down. If someone my age can't write the code that you need them to write, and someone who's 27 or 27 and from a particular community in Pakistan is able to do it far better than I, you should hire a fascinating guy. Absence of a degree was another example of bias. What would that degree have given him that his experience defending our country wouldn't have? A certain way of approaching the problem? Well, you don't know that because you haven't asked him about how he approaches cybersecurity. It would take a 10-minute phone call for you to feel comfortable or to determine that it wasn't the correct background. But a firm didn't ask. They just rejected because of the absence of a degree. Don't be foolish. Challenge your assumptions and look at things through fresh eyes. After all, at the end of the day, you have a goal in mind. Sometimes the person who is best suited to help you meet that goal got their training at Coursera. They got their training online at a different online academy and can do great work. But because you had the privilege of going to college because mommy and daddy could afford it, or were willing to take out you were willing to take out the loans and pay them back, or not, you went to college and another person didn't. So I'm Jeff Altman. I'm giving you tough love here. Visit my website, thebiggamehunter.us. There's a lot there that you can learn from that I think will help you with staffing more quickly. And if you are trying to hire someone, call me at 646-374-8656 or email me at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. I'd love to help you firm staff positions. I'm Jeff Altman. Have a great day. Take care.